And we ride into the grapevine on a Tuesday morning, either on horseback or donkey back or whatever it is that you want to ride on. Well, we are here ready to go, raring to get into the groove of what's happening in the world of entertainment. That's what we do every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:15 on the Smooth Breakfast, right here on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station. My name is Ayokunmi. Great to be here with you, ready to chew on a lot of different things. When it comes to entertainment, all the gist, all the gossip, we like to spill the tea, shake and break tables where necessary. And you get to play a very big part in everything that we do. You can join us on YouTube. You can join us on WhatsApp as well. And let us know your thoughts. Tayo is already planted on WhatsApp. And I wonder if he came in on horseback this morning. I'll find out later on. The WhatsApp number is 0911 0911 That is the WhatsApp number. YouTube, we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can leave your comments there. We always love to read from you. You crack me up a lot of times and I enjoy the interactions as well. All right, joining me to take a look at the stories as he always does. It's like tradition at this point in time. The one and only my main man, Irabor Okosun Irabor, 1 trillion. Irabor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ayo. Trillion, trillion. Amen, amen, and amen. More than Elon Musk. Good morning, everybody.
We're good though. I couldn't remember what comes after trillion, so I just added another trillion to the trillion. So
I
just to give it,
receive it
yeah.
in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yes, so that's what it is. All right, great to have you join me, Rebel, as you always do. I know that you are looking forward to what's on the agenda this morning. Well, we shall begin with
Yes,
Teddy A and
yes.
Bam Bam. Well, Teddy A has been speaking and he opened up about the emotional toll of false allegations of abuse that were made against him. He was speaking in a recent interview and he revealed that a report accusing him of physically abusing his wife, aka Bam Bam, had a profound impact on him. Now, these allegations that were spread on social media claim that Teddy A beat his wife, including during her pregnancy. And I remember that particular time when these allegations came out. And yeah, but we've talked about false allegations, really rape allegations, and how they have such a devastating effect on those actually involved. But in addition to this particular interview that Teddy A did, there have also been reports on the ground rumblings here and there that the marriage isn't as solid as it used to be. I can't speak categorically to that, but I've been reading things here and there and hearing all sorts of things. But let me get you in on this one.
I mean, it's never something that I believe, most men would agree with when it comes to domestic violence. I mean, for real reasons. When you hear stories like this, it is very, very sensitive, and you definitely have to look at all the sides. You have to weigh the situation. I mean, in my own opinion, that's how I would see it. I have to weigh the situation and listen to both sides. Now, there were allegations. I didn't see any particular story where she herself, made those allegations with proof and all that. Now, there's the phrase where, as long as you see smoke, there's fire. Again,
Mm,
I take that with a pinch of salt as well. With how sensational certain stories can be,
yeah.
you have to really, really be careful. We know what the female gender, majority of them, can do when they are angry at the slightest or even pushed to the wall. We know how even the male gender can react depending on their own situation and maturity level for the slightest thing. There's even an AI drama that is on right now. A friend of mine sent it to me, um, where the girl is dating somebody. I mean, she's married to somebody who is a prominent person in church, but the women in church are okay with the woman being in the marriage because the guy gives the church money, but the guy is beating the hell out of the woman, in the
Wow.
house. So we have these situations, a lot of them. So to provide, an honest and balanced take on this recent headline involving Teddy and, Bam Bam. I believe, with that 2 days podcast, the reality guy now that we know as Teddy, we have to really point out that fact that he's a reality superstar, because if this is not, if this is a normal person, we won't even be talking about it, because if you look at the statistics, both male and female, engage in this practice more than normal in everyday society. So I would love more information. I would love Bambam's take specifically, because Teddy A described the claims as entirely false and shocking. He even recalled waking up one day that the rumors broke, and to find his own pregnant wife laughing at a movie, only to discover his phone blowing up with notifications about the alleged abuse. Now, you also
Mm.
have that decision of silence when such happens, because sometimes you don't really have to answer to everything, and sometimes you do have to answer
True.
to some things. So he actually admitted that following his manager's advice to let it go and stay silent was a mistake, because that kind of thing would fester, and it certainly severely dented his reputation. So um, he even noted that years later, people still commented on, you know, his own photos asking if he still beats her. So there's so many questions to raise from this. Like, should celebrities really respond to everything? Are there certain things that you should respond to? How do you respond to those type of things? How does it affect your career afterwards? I mean, yeah, I'm sure this kind of thing, man, when we go through, and I'm arguing it now from the standpoint of, let's say he didn't even do it. We go through a lot of emotional hurt that cost us so many things that we just don't, you know, talk about. Because somebody like Teddy A now, who went to Big Brother, going through this kind of thing, I'm sure a lot of brands would have just avoided him, and they would have
Right.
branded him as
Right.
toxic,
Right.
you know. Uh-huh. Sure, you understand. Then we're happy that
Mm.
she also thrived regardless. I mean, with the YouTube film, her stock went up. He too, his own stock was going up because he had a podcast that was hosted. I've seen him in some sponsored ads here and there, like so. Things were, and but the thing now is, those kinds of things will put the strain on the relationship, depending on the kind of persons that are in that relationship. So I want to hear more, but I feel that people in relationships should try their best to make themselves formidable enough and make their partnership
Okay.
formidable enough to be able to weather certain storms, because people are going to come for you, whether it's family, whether it is friends, if it's just society in general, people's thoughts and process. Like, I was having an argument with somebody, where a friend of mine, a female, where she was saying that somebody she knows who is 19 was talking or dating somebody who's 33. I said, okay. She's like, why would you? Yeah, is not child abuse. I said, no, the person is 19 now. Like, when she's following the person and talking to the person, did she know that she should? I mean, if she doesn't want to talk to the person, she could say she's not talking to the person. I'm like, okay, what of the Ned situation? What of the diary at Aladia and his wife's situation? But like, you start giving too many examples. So all I'm saying in essence is, whatever rocks your boat, so far as within the confines of the law, I mean, proceed, go right ahead. But if you're now going to be breaking the law, and your relationship is involved, then you have to have another conversation. At the end of the day. But
Right.
this one, I want to hear from Bam directly. Not 15, 20 years later, because this situation is so sensitive that sometimes it's overplayed, in the sense that the victim or not the victim, or the person or whatever, would now come back later after maybe they probably said no, nothing happened. They come back later and be like, well, this thing it's very, very, it's just very, very dynamic in so many ways. You can never really know. So maybe we need to adopt what the UK has, where we have CCTVs all over the country, and probably in your houses, where you can now just pull up the footage and be like, hey, see what's there, that kind of thing. A lot of people are
Right.
falling victim of all these accusations, where certain things were hyped more than they were. So again, it's just sensitive. Now, God, nine the help also for this life. Because if they heard that the woman hit the man, it would be different reaction compared to when they hear that the man hits the woman. So that's the world we're in. But it is what it is, Sha.
Well, as you said, Irabor, I mean, it would be good to hear things from Bambam's point of view, and let us understand what exactly transpired. Because, as we did mention at the beginning of this, there really isn't any smoke without fire. to a degree. So we need to understand how those accusations actually came up, what was said, what was revealed to somebody, and so on, and we get a much clearer picture. And I really do wish them the best. Really do wish them the best going forward, because, like I mentioned, also some rumblings on the ground, hearing about what's going on, in the marriage and everything. We don't want to be hearing stories about marriages with issues. What we want to hear is everybody's happy and fine and thriving. That is the key thing in all of this. Okay, but let's talk about Nollywood here, because I know that this is down your alley and you probably have a very good idea of what is happening. Well, Moabudu has been speaking, and she has dismissed allegations that a group within Nollywood is working with cinema owners to restrict screening opportunities for certain films. And she was speaking on Arise TV, and she emphasized that cinema operations are guided by business considerations and audience demand rather than personal preferences or favoritism. Is she spot on with this one, Irabor, or is there something that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about?
No, she's very spot on. So I'm going to share something. I mean, we had Naz Onuzo on Film Focus last Friday. Naz is, I mean, one of the top Nollywood stakeholders, we've ever had. Both old Nollywood, current Nollywood, new Nollywood, and future Nollywood. This guy was part of Wedding Party, and I'd say at least 25% of the films that have come to cinema in the past 10 years. So go to YouTube, listen to the Naz interview on Film Focus, YouTube, Smooth FM YouTube page. Now, Moabudu is 1000% right. She would know this because, again, I keep saying this, we are an emotional population. We use feelings to judge certain things. Even abroad, they do the whole, oh, I don't like this guy, I just don't like him. Meanwhile, they're not looking at his policy. Look at what concerns you truly that would affect your life. Now, the reason I've prefaced all this with all these many things I've said is to say what I'm saying now. If you go to the stats, you check all the Moabudu movies that have been to cinema ever, you would see that she never topped her first movie that hit. She never topped it. So what I'm saying is, as Funke released her first movie that was 600, the next one was 600, but more than the previous one. The next one was 1 billion. The next one was another billion that was higher. Moabudu's films never topped themselves after she hit with Wedding Party. That is, the next film that came after Wedding Party didn't surpass Wedding Party. The next one that came after the next one didn't surpass the next one. They kept reducing. So if there were a cabal, because back then, who had the reins of cinema? It was Moabudu AY, because then we believed that it was comedy that ruled cinema. So there was no cabal then. The cabal is the audience. Unfortunately so. Up to the point where the audience themselves, if you look at the elites like Ayokunmi,
Irabor,
Sheun and the
okosun.
like, hopefully I try to get to that position, we would see that these guys don't go to the cinema. They are not interested in Pella-like content in any shape, ramification, or range form. So the people who go to cinema, you have to study your audience. There is no emotion in this thing. It is simple mathematics. It is a business. You would favor what the audience likes, because in this case, the audience dictates the industry. So who do they like? Why do they like who they like? How did that person that they like get to that certain level? Let's use a case study. Funke Akindele, for example. Funke Akindele is a child star. Somebody that has started from back in the day, that if you do any throwback, you will start talking about I Need to Know. She has that record from when there was terrestrial TV. That track record grew to what it became into Jennifer. From that, I Need to Know, she had a hit in Jennifer. It was also on terrestrial TV before the internet and TikTok boom. Yeah. She was in people's houses on multiple stations. Then she was now wise enough to jump on the internet revolution and have social media handles. And she continued making content and fused all those platforms that she had into that social media. So that's a machine that is well oiled and engineered, and it is growing. That machine has many horsepowers and they keep adding more. And she keeps on releasing content and she's collaborating and she goes cool. So again, people need to understand that you cannot shoot a film and expect that it's going to hit in December for something that just happened barely 7 years ago. December window was not active until about
Okay.
6, 7 years ago. So it's not magic that she's making 1 billion, 2 billion, 2.5 billion. It's not magic that she's in the top 6 ever at the box office. It's not magic. So Mo Abudu maintaining that cinema scheduling is strictly a business decision based on data and audience demand. She's fine and she's right. She too has seen it. She tried to do it with another strategy of, oh, I am who I am, whatever I drop, it go work. It didn't work. That's why she left. Because if it was profitable, even if Netflix and the likes came, she will still be there. Nobody's going to leave a business because there's another one. Most men don't leave their wives, even if they have the hottest side chicks. They will still keep the family home intact and they'll be chopping outside. So if cinema business was profitable for Mo Abudu then, she would still be in it, even if Netflix came. She be the side chick, don't go now. Everybody's still with their family now, be the cinema. So she is completely right. And I am sure that she wouldn't have said this maybe a few years ago. She has now, I'm sure she now has, because I saw she did an interview with Moses Babatokwe, another pioneer in the industry, along with Ben
Yeah.
Monobruce and all these other guys. Yeah, so I'm sure that they've sat, everybody has sat down and like, see, wait first, let's not be emotional, let's not behave like Kunle Afolayan, yeah. Let's not behave like Omotolaga.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Firing shots,
It's
are
not,
we?
this is not what the industry, I'm not firing shots. I'm stating facts. Like, let's not get emotional. If there was no Netflix, see, have people forgotten that Kunle used to do film for African Magic TV? TV. Kunle used to hustle for a contract to make films for TV. He used to do it. Everybody has passed through that. Myself, I have passed through red carpet. I've done red carpet. I used to do red carpet coverage. I graduated from red carpet coverage. I started covering events like BAFTA outside the country. Big Brother, I would call us to go do Big Brother and Nigeria outside for South Africa. They call me for NBA finals. We've done all that. You come from somewhere. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to put institutions in place. So again, we come from somewhere. So my point is, let's not now bash or shame the person that's coming after us that has figured out, see, English don't scatter my head, that has figured it out properly after us. Then instead of us to collaborate with them, we are now talking ill of them. No, now, it's not supposed to be so. Do you understand? So again, emotions aside, there is fairness in the industry. I'll give you something that's very, 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 I mean, I can speak about this because there's no NDA, but I mean, I'll give you professional leeway to a point. So a friend of mine reached out to me, a very top person, in the industry. I was like, my film was rejected though by so and so. Please, I want to bring to cinema. What do you think? Watch this film. They sent the screener to me. 15 minutes in, I said, I'm so sorry. I was even fighting my friend. I said, sorry, did you watch this film? Person said, no, they have not watched it. I said, thank God, this was going to hurt our friendship. I said, 15 minutes in, this is rubbish. Like, of course, they should reject this. I said, this film is not even good to be on TV. And you guys, so that kind of person would go and do that kind of film, would not consult, would not research on their own, would not check before they even shoot. And now just want to bring any film, expect it to hit any time of the year. It doesn't hit. They don't give you show times. People are not interested in it. Then you come and be like, can you imagine? No. Now, you now have the situation of Dabi Chimere. I'm sure you guys have seen that video of Dabi Chimere, who she's a filmmaker, producer, executive producer, who spoke about having contracts with certain actors and they did not, live up to their own undertakings. And they don't promote. Now, that's another conversation which I thought that Kunle and Omotola would have brought up and said, yes, maybe we may not like dancing, Maybe it's not our cup of tea. Thank God we have the Netflix deal. Thank God we have old Nollywood glam and legacy that we are still leveraging off. Thank God that we are part of SAG-AFTRA in America. Thank God. But now let's also look at the issues in the industry where people will sign contracts. You don't live up to your contracts where you're supposed to, because you see now that there are certain movies in Hollywood that are being released. Devil Wears Prada, this and that. These guys are going for media tours. They are dancing on social media. They are having interviews with BBC. Denzel at 70 is doing media rounds. You will call an actor, say, oh yeah, I'll come for this. I can't come. How do you now want to be a household name? When
How
Funke was
exactly?
making 600.
But sorry. I mean, is there a particular reason why some of the actors and actresses on this side of the world feel that way? I mean, as you referenced in the abroad and all that, you talked about Denzel Washington doing media rounds and all that. Why do we feel like, nah, I'm too big for that? Is there a particular reason that happens here?
See, when there's misplaced priorities and misplaced wokeness, like you just hear some things that I mean that a lovely industry counterpart of mine, Dami Dawson, mentioned something too on his page. Like when we had a film critics hangout last week, we all gathered, we're just talking. Like, I mean, I'm happy people like him exist because when me and some other people, when we carry this fire at that time, people will be like, what did they do all these people? Like, you call out these guys and they take it negatively, like, oh, you are trying to. I will mention someone like Jemima Osunde going on social media and saying, she cannot dance, so why would she? Why are we fighting to promote? I'm supposed to. I'm just looking like, are you even not watching these Hollywood guys? Are you not seeing what musicians and celebrities abroad do? The fact that they would even go naked on the red carpet, do you know what that means to wear skirts? Like all you need to do see what Timini is doing now. Timini has cracked the code. Timini saw that last year he did 300 and whatever in February. Like, oh, so February can be profitable because he's a lover boy. He has focused on his own positioning. He's not going to be fighting Funke in December. It's not possible. It's not
Mm,
possible. You will not see me going to go and fight a 6'10", 270 pounds person that is muscular with 3% body fat. Even if I can take him down, Baba, I would not try to see how far. It is only when it is life or death that I would try the guy. I won't just wake up and just want to go and try him without making sure that I'm not eating a bar. I mean, so we need to be very yes. Now, it's situational analysis. You have to be checking all these things, and I'm coming at those guys that even have the money. That's my issue. Even Netflix, self and Prime should even collect these basketballs. Those guys enter the industry just to enter. They didn't even who are the popular people, who are the people that are shining. They didn't come to do what the likes of like the British Council are doing, where they
all
have the
right,
film
Irabor.
lab. All this. See, Baba, look, we are not ready to be having conversation because if I sit down to talk to these people, it go be like say I insult them. That's why I just avoid having conversations with those types of people where they are so short-sighted. And I love them. It's not as if I don't love them. I love them. It's just that they are not focusing on what is important and they're not trying to proffer solutions. Now, imagine Omotola saying years ago that, and she knew that, and she was waiting for them to come and meet her, that she knew that this film will not pass for Oscar selection. How can a veteran be saying that she's waiting for you to fail, waiting for you to come and meet her? Why? Yeah, which kind of agidi and senior is that? You see your young one is going to go and fail. You are looking at them for what? And I love how this is. So you see that I'm calling out this thing, but I also love her. I even saw her yesterday. So I love her, but you can't be saying that kind of thing. That's not what the industry needs. That's not what it needs. So
I hear
the
you, Irabor.
stakeholders need to take responsibility. But let's go to the next topic, I beg. This thing they pay me, Joe.
I can hear it in your voice. I mean, you're feeling all the emotion because it definitely hits something, something you're very passionate about, and it tends to happen when you have passion for certain things. All right, let's talk some music here, and I'm going to tie two things together for it to make sense. There's a reason I put these two stories together for it to make some sense. Now, first of all, in first hand, Tubaba has been speaking. He's been talking about Burna Boy, talking about Whiskey, talking about Davido. Now, he has said that Burna Boy is the leading Afrobeats artist, saying that he currently operates on a different musical level compared to his peers, Davido, Whiskey as well. Now, he said that he appreciates the work of all major Afrobeats artists, but places Burna at the top of the current scene. Now, he compared evaluating artists to comparing painters, each with a different unique style, and stressed that such comparisons are inherently subjective. So I'm glad that he actually mentioned that is his own perspective. But the other part of this conversation has to do with another story where music production expert Peter Sunday David said the ultimate responsibility lies with artists and their management teams when it comes to the poor sound quality at live concerts, which are often blamed on the sound engineers. Now, the reason I'm tying these two things together is one of the things that you use to look at an artist is their stagecraft, their performance out there. Now, I don't know too many Nigerian artists that you can say, hey, this person, this person, this person, this person, when it comes to stagecraft, they are top notch. Great musically, no issues there. But that also plays a part in what they do, their legacy, and so on and so forth. Looking at those at the big three, anyways, talking about Burna Boy, talking about Whiskey, talking about David, Burna, when it comes to that stage, he owns it. Stage presence is right there. Can we say the same though for the Wizzes, the Davidos of this world, Irabor? You're muted, by the way.
So
Okay.
so 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 hmm, I don't think we can even use the stage presence comparison or parallel because I think Bona, Ashake, Wizkid, Davido, I think they do have stage presence. I would say, yeah, Burna Boy is number one, Davido next, then Wizkid third. But I feel that they have enough stage presence. They can do better, fine, no problem. But to the point of Tubaba, I like that he said it's subjective. And I like that he has joined the big three chat. Um, there's nothing wrong in opinion. There's this popular comedian, Aries Spears. He said
Mm, mm,
that Ice Cube's music is not his cup of tea, but he recognized that Ice Cube's contribution to West Coast hip hop, recognition for West Coast hip hop and the likes cannot be denied. Now, Ice Cube's music is not his cup of tea. Me, self, Ice Cube's music is not my cup of tea. LL Cool J's music is not my cup of tea. In my own opinion, I think LL Cool J is cringe, like that, in my own
uh-uh.
opinion. But now,
Yeah.
yes, 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 I feel it's cringe. Like, I don't think it's a rapper. I think it's like, who would you use now that is, okay, so if you're going to look at LL Cool J, Drake is the standard for what LL Cool J should be.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, if you're going to be honest. 50 Cent, Drake, those guys are the standard. Yes, Wale is, that's how they call it, but his name is Wale. So, but my point now to Burna, Wizkid, and Davido is everybody's entitled to their opinions, and nobody should now have any negative thing to say while they are entitled to their opinion. That's my point. You don't
Okay.
have to. It's like the R. Kelly situation now. The R. Kelly situation. If you're going to talk about R. Kelly, I always ask this question: are we talking about the music or the person? If we're going to dice the music itself, it's a different conversation from the person. Now, if you're going to talk about Burna, we all know the Burna attitude, Burna this, Burna, but if you're looking at him musically, forget. He's there now. It was Wizkid's world before. Davido had it at different points in time, just like C. Ronaldo had the Ballon d'Or in between when Messi won 4 years in a row at different points in time. She understand? Yeah. So they all won at different times. Now, who is number one? Burna. Who is number two? Wizkid. Who is number three? Davido. Who is number four? Probably Ashake. Like that and like that. Then you now have all those guys who are also doing well, like Adekunle Gold, regardless of the fact, they are like the Jay-Z's. They just shot they shot regardless of anything. So I think Tubaba praised Burna's pen game and delivery, even calling him a senior in the game, right now. So I mean, it was very careful to say that art is subjective, like I mentioned, and he doesn't know their bank account specifically, but musically, he's giving the crown to Burna, and I agree. Naturally, that has set social media on fire because all the FCs are pointing out
You
like
already
Whiskey
know.
them. They're saying
You already know.
massive cultural legacy, recent chart topping, blah blah blah. All those things. Then Davido Camp, is arguing that he remains the most consistent hit maker, blah blah. It's a bold take from a legend like Two Face. Whether you agree or not, I think it highlights how high the bar has been. raising Afrobeats on the world stage. So it's a good
Yeah.
argument to have if you really, really look at it. The fact that we have 3 people to even be fighting over. Some countries don't even have one. Then we now move to the ladies. We have like 5. King Mali is on the rise. Ira Star is there, showing us talent, also showing us body. We have Tiwa. We still have Thames. We still.
Yeah, well, let me take messages. I need to jump in here. Let me take messages. All right, let me take this one from this is from Tali here, who sent in her thoughts. Let me see. Tali says, are you saying that it's okay? We know that there are some rare Amber Heard situations, but please don't say both male and females engage in domestic violence. They actually do. Let's not try to make this a male female thing. It happens both ways. It
You
happens
see,
both
you see,
ways.
you see, you see what I'm
It
saying. You
happens
see what
both
I'm saying,
ways.
Abi. I
Uh,
have been a victim. Me, I will say it on radio. I have been there. I have been
Uh,
there.
she, fur- she further says, I have had the unpleasant experience of going to rescue a friend from her head being bashed in by her then husband at the police station. We're unable to log a complaint because the CP on duty beats his wife as well. His question was, what did she do? Till tomorrow, the guy will always deny beating her, even with the bashed in door and her black eye. Abegu DV is real. And I can assure you that most women who are at the receiving end will never admit it publicly because of this culture of victim shaming. So yes, she will deny it, then later come back to admit. And she further says, okay, well, let me just, what you said, I can read this. I have personally been a victim of DV. Until today, I cannot understand how I could allow that to happen to myself. Allow in quotes. The ex-husband in this situation is the most respectable, gentleman-looking guy. Until today, my knee is busted, and he has never admitted or even apologized for it. He said I rolled on the floor myself. Can you just imagine that? His sisters accused me of slandering him, by the way. Have I ever shared this in public? No. So yeah, the lady here, that's Bambam, will most likely not admit in public until a significant time in the future. And truly, truly, go easy. Tali, I hear you on that one. And hey, I'm so sorry you had to go through that sort of experience. Nobody deserves to go through that sort of experience at all, at all. No human being deserves to go through that, man or woman. So sorry you had to go through all that. And these are things that we really need to speak about more often because it's so taboo. You're about to talk about these sort of issues. You can't talk about, no, don't talk about it, keep it to yourself, kind of thing. The more we keep these things to ourselves, the more they happen and the more it gets worse along the way. So we can meet in the middle. All right, Tayo, just says, I wanted to come to the grapevine on my horseback as usual, but today I said, I said, we all except Orange shall arrive on e-bike. I want to catch him. You can't catch Orange, Tayo. Just forget about that. My problem is the changing price between B-Lord and VDM. Let those two clowns continue clowning, I beg. Irabor, please give us some zeros from the trillions to make a purchase. Get in line, Tayo. Get in line. I hope they sort their marital issues in the face of all these allegations and all of that. So Cabal Day inside Nollywood, it's giving Cabal in presidency. After Irabor trillion, we have prepared him for quadrillion, quintillion, and so on. I'm also ready for that. And then thank God I'm
Amen.
not in this. Thank God I'm not
Ah,
in this Ayo and Irabor elites. Which Ayo and Irabor elites now? Tayo, please don't scare my helper away. Uh, he says, man to man, like the challenge, Funke is an industry machine like Udumodu. It didn't work out for Mo Abudu with that Chief Daddy 2 movie. Irabo with the hottest side chick analogy. Preach! Nothing concerns Davido with this two Baba talk. He's being Daddy Madi and looking for another Grammy hit song. Please, Irabo didn't mean it. LL Cool J cringe care. I'm also wondering LL Cool J cringe. Why? Is it because he does the shirtless and lip licking thing, Irabo? I feel that he's cringe because
it's not LL
that
Cool J that did looking for a master plan. Something. LL Cool J was dissing 50 Cent, saying that 50 Cent only did the chorus, so that Amari sang, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what is in his verse that he sang, that he rapped? What was there? Wait,
oh my
see, what hard song, like song that you listen to LL Cool J, like just LL Cool J rapping, then you be like, bars. Tell me, tell me. I'm waiting.
Irabo, Irabo, please,
Let them
please,
send
please.
us message on WhatsApp now. Anybody that is trying to counter me, give me LL Cool J lines that you think you're like, bars.
Well, yeah, but Julius on the island is agreement with you. He says He says, Irabor, I don't know what you took today, but you have been spot on. And I also think LL Cool J is cringe. Ah, okay. So Irabor has a supporter on this one. And then he says, if 2 billion is not too small, paste your ass out. Let me do the Lord's work. God bless you guys and smooth, making my Tuesday and Thursday superb. Julius, 2 billion. I'm looking at you with my side eye. That sounds a little fishy. But thank you for the message. Um, who else is talking to us? All right, Judas says, Drake, the standard for LL Cool J. J, you've got to be kidding me. These were two different eras. Cool J in his days was the real deal. Don't miss it, but these are not the comparisons. Two different eras. I repeat, eras come and go. So Chideze is not agreeing with you on that comparison at all. Well, you know what they say. We can disagree to agree at the end of the day.
Okay.
All right, we need to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for the messages and, of course, being a part of the grapevine. Very much appreciated reading your messages and just knowing that you are there having a great time as we are. Thank you so much. And thank you to you, Irabor, for joining me as you always do and preaching the gospel.
Ayo, let me just add this. I know we have to go quickly. So Nigerians, the audience, please and please and please and please, you guys should go and watch these movies in cinema or whatever. And please let us know, like whenever you see any blogs or whatever, give your opinion so that we can have enough sample data to understand what the audience likes and how these people can make better movies. We need to keep talking about these things, not just keep quiet. I'm like, I don't watch Nollywood. I stole you people there.
Well, you can still me with some zeros from the trillion, so I don't mind that one. I'll take it any day.
No,
Twice on
no
Sundays.
problem. I will stole you with the zeros there.
All right, Irabor. Have a great one. Take care of yourself. And thank you once again for keeping up with us in the grapevine here on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirieko. 9 o'clock, we'll have a discussion on Lagos Talk. So we're taking a look at that recent development concerning the fake drugs, the consignment of fake drugs that were discovered in Lagos. And let's talk about that. We need to bring that to the fore. Keep it tuned. Smooth 98.1.